Hey everybody, it's me, Jake, from jakin.off, back with another episode. This week I am joined by Hilari Holt. Give her a round of applause, everybody. Hilari is a very funny comedian, an improviser here from Kansas City. Go ahead and check her out on Instagram at hilarious124 and check out her crafts at Hill Does Crafts. Also mentioned at the end of this podcast is the Black Comedy Festival of Kansas City coming up. Everything for there can be found at BCFKC on Instagram. Really looking forward to that. Going to be pretty sweet. So make sure you check that out. Other than that, you guys know the drill. Follow the podcast at jakin.off.podcast and subscribe, like, share this with your friends, please. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the episode and have a good listen to the episode. Thank you.
For the fashion show that's coming up, because it was our final project or whatever,
Yeah.
her portfolio project. And she was like, oh, I was just sitting waiting to get into class early because I was just having a trouble like time management.
Yeah.
Because it's always been one project at a time. So I didn't know how like the time management and like what it would take to make 6 individual original pieces, like from scratch, from sketch to creating the pattern.
Yeah.
And then sewing the clothes. And she's also like not there to help us that often. She's like in her office or somewhere else. I was like, but we only have done this for a year and a half.
Yeah. You're not fucking fashion designers.
No, we're not. We're people.
You're students
a
who
wide
have
range.
jobs.
Yeah. A wide range of
Yeah.
ages, because I was probably like the youngest because I was fresh from high school. And yeah, but a lot of people were frustrated with her, but
yeah, she sounds awful.
It was like, what? And like now, because at the sewing labs, one of my teachers, that was at my first freshman year, second semester, was like basic sewing or something like that. But she had ended up being one of the like assistant volunteer teachers with our class at the sewing labs, and I was like, hey, did you teach at Penn Valley? Like, I think you were my teacher before for like basic sewing. She was like, yeah. So like sewing labs has been like somehow also like healing trauma in a way where she's like, I need a shift to do something, and then I'm like being validated by someone so far, but it's so small.
Because they're being like, that lady was wild.
Yeah. And not just
well, because of course, I bet if you went on like Rate My Professor or whatever, she'd have like terrible
but
ratings.
I didn't, because I was like, oh, this person is like in charge of my grade. This is a person of power. And I can't challenge. She's mad at me for I don't even know.
It's so funny because I feel like all of the professors that I've had that I enjoy are people who are like, yeah, I'm basically like, it's going to be so easy for you to get a good grade. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, I just want you to learn stuff.
So, yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, it's so annoying when you have somebody who's like, actually, this isn't about teaching you something. This is about
controlling.
Yeah, controlling you. And it's so fucking annoying. Because it's like the exact opposite sort of attitude that like fosters people's like ability to learn.
Especially for creativity, she was very stifling in some parts, because she's like, we can't have bows, we can't have sparkles, don't have ribbon. And I like did a thing. She's just like, oh, it's so It was like,
she's like, be creative, but don't do anything that I think is wrong.
Yeah, she was like, don't do anything that's like gonna cause me more time or whatever. She's like, I don't want to pick a bunch of glitter on the floor or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there was one time where I did agree with her, because there was like an assignment in one of our first classes, and it was in our syllabus of like when these projects are gonna come up, and like 2 projects were tied to each other, and just like the final project for some people, it was like, what? You don't know. And then, but then at that time she was like more like, I'll be around. So something happened, switched in her throughout the course that like just kind of, I don't even know, made nosedive or whatever.
Maybe she should, you know, maybe
that's the only time I was just like, yeah, we're
sounds like that lady deserves to be you know you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
She's fucking you know?
Just at home.
You know, hey, there's if anybody wants to take care of a fashion teacher at Old Pin Valley Community College, it's the one that's mean.
If you say
you'll
apparel,
you'll be able to tell.
If you say apparel textiles, Pin Valley, people people who know would be like, oh,
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but that's why sewing.
And so, if anybody wants to take care of that little problem for us out there, any members of Jake Off Nation want to murder a teacher?
No.
If you want to shoot a teacher, I got another teacher I'd like shot. Former teacher. I know of at least one other former teacher.
I know for sure she didn't fart on us, so that was...
Yeah, well, she went on the news and she was like, they're firing me because I yelled at these students, but there's a teacher shortage. And it's like, well, dude, there's not a shortage of shitty teachers. They're not like, we're running low on terrible teachers.
Yeah, so that, because that was like 2013.
Yeah, 2013.
So I didn't want
Hopefully
to sew
she's
until...
dead. Maybe she's dead by natural causes.
I don't think so. I think
Just
I looked her up on
dead.
Facebook once, though, just to like scroll and see whatever was public. And I was just like, no, okay. Like, it wasn't anything too bizarre or whatever, but yeah.
I actually read this story about this landscape company that mowed around a dead body because they thought that it was a Halloween prop. They're just like mowing around a man's dead body, just like, holy shit, that is a really realistic Halloween prop. The rest of their house isn't decorated in Halloween stuff.
Yeah, just
so it's
this
just
one
they're just
body.
like, yeah, this is dead fucking. You know, that body even smells a lot like a dead body,
like bloating like a dead body. Do they know what happened to the person, the body?
So
that was
the cause of death is not yet known.
No, when did this happen?
Maybe it was a candy overdose. He could have overdosed on Halloween candy. This story was published October 17th. This is, of course, in Orlando, Florida. This is where all this kind of stuff happens, in Orlando, Florida.
Yes.
And actually, you know what? I learned that because this kind of shit actually happens everywhere, but in Florida, it's like the easiest state to publish like personal details of people because there's way less laws. And so that's why the idea of Florida man or whatever, like everybody's like, Florida's the craziest state. Like it's the craziest state. But it's just the state where it's easiest to like put people's information in the news.
If people knew all the information that Missouri has.
Yeah, it's like, no kidding. Exactly,
it's
right?
Like, so I was driving around though, and I saw a temp tag and assumed it was Missouri, and I got up close to it and it said Florida. I was like, no.
Yeah.
We're the Florida of the Midwest.
Dude, it's fucking Missouri is white trash.
It's wild.
It is crazy. Like because I'm from Kansas and I get that Kansas ain't great. You know, it's not awesome, but I'm like, it's different than Missouri.
It's weird.
It is different than Missouri. Like Kansas, not awesome.
No,
not an awesome state
that's
by
where
any
Prohibition
means.
Started.
Yeah, but
Liberty, Kansas.
Yeah,
it's wild.
It's like it's so weird. When I went to Marquette, Kansas, this was like probably like a month ago for a show. It was like a Wednesday night, and it was sick. It was at this place called Smoky Valley Distillery.
Ooh, the moonshine.
I don't know if they have moonshine.
No, Smoky. You said Smoky Valley.
Yeah,
not Smoky Mountain. Never mind.
No, it was.
Never mind.
It was in this town. Is like 200 people, and fucking damn near everybody in the town was at the show. Like it must have been. And it was me and Evan and Cole and Pat, and they were awesome. They were like a good audience.
Yeah.
But on the outside of the building, they had like all these like portraits, and like, you know, it was like Martin Luther King Jr., like like these are like really old portraits.
Yeah.
And then in the middle it had Ulysses S. Grant, and then and like on the other side it had Robert E. Lee, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is fucking insane. And I went in and I ended up bringing it up while I was on stage. I was like, is that I was like, is that Robert E. Lee on the side of this building? Like, you guys are in Kansas. Like, what the fuck?
And it's contradictory. It's very contradictory.
It is crazy. And I was like, does anybody? I was like, who all thinks? I was like, let's vote it. Let's vote on it. Everybody's here. Like, who all thinks those need to be taken down?
Yeah.
And there were some people who were like, yeah, like that. Most people just like didn't clap either way.
Mm-hmm.
But this fucking lady was like very vocal. She was like, yeah. This old lady was like, yes. I hate it. It's like this 70-year-old lady is like, all these people are stupid. But yeah, it's like, dude, anybody who's ever like, Florida's a shithole, it's like, okay, buddy, you're from Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay, that ain't the fucking you know, you're from Mississippi, bud.
Yeah, Arkansas's dry counties.
Yeah,
we used to go to family reunions. I think some still do, but I was just like, after a while I was just like, Arkansas doesn't feel safe.
Yeah,
but especially because we're going to Mena, Arkansas.
Oh, I don't even
which is
know what
exactly. And I remember being like 21 and I could finally drink, and then we went to this Mexican restaurant, and then I was like, oh, do you not have like margaritas or anything? Because it was just a lot happening.
They're like, what kind of fucking place you think this is?
The girl was like, oh no, it's a dry county. I was like, oh,
that's insane.
What?
Yeah.
So we would just when we went, my mom and I, we'd stop.
Yeah.
Where was it at? Like Macadoodles.
Yeah.
Right on the border. And so we'd get wine and then bring it, and then so we just
that's how it was in Kansas forever. Like you couldn't
for the
get
beer. Yeah,
you couldn't buy beer at a gas station or something. Like now it was only 3-2 beer was all you can get, and on Sundays you couldn't buy beer or like liquor at all. Yeah, fucking wild.
I think it's
like,
I think it's still like that for Sundays in some spots. In
Kansas there are still some like counties that have that. But like it just is so confusing to me that there's still places that are like, no, don't let them drink.
Yeah. So I think, but
like, oh my
I
God.
think Mena's like
they'll never legalize weed in Kansas. It'll be legal federally before they legalize it at a state level.
Probably.
It's like so insane. One time I was listening to an interview with like some state representative. Of course, he's like a fucking like 90-year-old white guy, and he was talking about, you know, it was on NPR or something. They're asking him about legalizing marijuana in Kansas. Yeah. And he's like, well, the problem is that if we're prescribing it medically for pain, how do we know that they're for sure in pain? We don't want it going to people who aren't in pain. And it's like, dude, there's a fucking opioid crisis in this country, like specifically because of this.
Yes.
And so it's like this guy is like on like one hand, like capping for fucking like big pharma to be like, no, like we don't want anybody smoking weed that shouldn't be. Yeah. He's like, we should give them other stuff like pills. It's like, dude, what the fuck? But yeah, they'll never legalize weed there, I don't think. It really is like this weirdly conservative like state, and like, but then also the stuff with abortion was like so surprising to me. I was shocked that they kept abortion. It was fucking like so surprising.
It's like a weird trade-off. I don't know.
I also think that mobilizes like a lot of people, like like a lot of people, especially in areas that like wouldn't vote. You know, you think of like, you know, Johnson County or like KCK and like Wichita and stuff that maybe probably wouldn't have voted if that wasn't like on the ballot. So I don't know. Just, you know, just what I think about. But yeah, this guy was dead in his lawn and they mowed right around him. He was fucking dead. He was lying face down in the grass.
I completely forgot about that.
And the name of the town that he is from, that he died, or that he died in at least, is called China Grove, North Carolina, which just sounds like racist. It just sounds so racist.
That
like
sounds...
there's no way like how people like I would.
There's bodies in there. There's bodies under those houses.
I would hate to know what the mascot for China Grove High School is. It cannot be good.
Hopefully it's like a cow.
Let's look it up.
Something.
China Grove High School. Oh no. Oh, they don't even go there. They just call it South Rowan.
Oh.
That's the name of the county. Smart. It's smart.
They
That's
probably
smart.
changed. Yeah,
That's
they were
smart.
just like, oh no.
Best avoid China Grove in the name of your school.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of people dying.
All over.
There's
all the
a lot
time.
of people dying all over.
Some are just.
All the time. And sometimes
It's just odd,
well,
weird freak things.
sometimes people die and
Yeah.
there's nobody, they don't have anybody. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like sometimes when people die, like the people at a funeral home have to go in their apartments and like clean out the stuff, and like, you know, these people are just like lonely or whatever,
Figure it
and
out,
maybe they
yeah.
have a sex doll, and maybe one of the people from the funeral home gets charged for stealing a dead guy's sex doll. Which is exactly what happened.
Oh, no.
And this was in Omaha.
Uh-huh.
This is the guy who did it. He looks like he's that's just like I don't think that that's the sex doll, but it's like, dude, this guy looks like a man who would steal a used sex doll. You know what I'm saying? It's like a used sex doll.
Yeah, that's.
He's 41. So a funeral home worker responsible for transporting dead bodies in a Nebraska county is suspected of having an intimate encounter with a life-size sex doll he found in the apartment of a deceased person, according to court records. Investigators say Ryan Smith, 41, and a colleague were dispatched last week to a home in the Rock Creek Apartments in Omaha to collect the body of an individual who died there. Near the body on the bed was a very real life-size sex doll, an investigator recorded. Police allege that Smith subsequently called the property manager and claimed that the local sheriff had asked him to remove the sex doll to collect swabs for biopsy. So he's like, yeah, the sheriff needs this dead guy's cum.
Yeah.
He's like,
We
he asked
didn't
me.
give it to the sheriff
Yeah,
directly.
he asked me, the guy from the funeral home. He said, Ryan Smith, I need you to deliver this sex doll.
To me. For some crime.
So funny. I just think it's so funny to imagine this fucking just absolutely like, you know, I mean, this guy looks exactly like what you would think somebody who would steal a used sex doll would be like. I love the idea of him walking in and like seeing this thing.
Yeah.
And just immediately being like, all right.
Yeah.
How am I going to get this out of here? He's like, how am I going to get this into the car? What am I going to tell everybody? How am I going to get this out of here?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do? It's like a movie. It's like literally like it's like a made up situation.
I had a question, but I forgot it.
What is it?
So how did they know that he had the sex doll?
So Smith's strange request was denied by the manager, who later returned to the apartment to discover that Smith was inside the unit, which had been locked with a deadbolt and chain.
So not his apartment, the apartment of. So he's still in the dead guy's apartment.
So he's still in the dead guy's apartment. This is all taking place in the dead guy's apartment. So he gets in there. Everybody's like, this guy is dead, and it's this dude's job to come and get the dead body. So he's there to pick up the dead guy's body. And he's like unloading this body with his buddy. And the whole time he's like, I got to figure out how to get this sex doll out of here. He's like, I need this thing. I want this woman. Or I don't know if it's a woman, I guess.
Why didn't the property manager say whatever? Or because he didn't want to be in.
So he did, because this guy, he told the property manager, he's like, sheriff wants me to take the sex doll to
that
him.
Story.
And the property manager was like, nah, man. Like, that's not how any of this works. And so he denied his request, and then later he returned to the apartment to discover that this guy was inside, and it had been locked with a deadbolt and a chain. So this dude locked this dead guy's apartment with a deadbolt and a chain. And then after Smith exited the home with his shirt untucked and his pants in disarray, the property manager called the cops, who later busted Smith on a felony burglary charge. A post-arrest examination revealed the sex doll to be sticky, and it appeared that something had rubbed her inner thigh. So these police come and are examining this sex doll.
It's just CSI, but it's just.
And dude,
oh my gosh.
But the sex doll was in the bed with the dead guy, so it could have been
he
literally
died with the doll.
Yes, and this dude is like, nice.
The doll was
Isn't that
still in the bed when they
disgusting?
found it.
Yeah. It was in the bed when they got there. Near the body on the bed was a very real life-size sex doll.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So it was literally on the bed next to the body. And this dude, I can't believe it. It's like, I can't believe that you're walking into a room with a dead body in it and you're being like, look at how hot that sex doll
I'm
is.
hard right now. Ooh, death. Let me.
That's like, see, these guys give men a bad reputation, you know? Because it's like, bro, how are you gonna be like so horny? Like,
well,
how can you be so horny?
How does a plastic woman
Yeah.
even?
Well, I'm sure it's like some silicone or something.
Oh, like a.
You know,
scary one.
I mean, this is a
Realistically
classic
scary
guy. He's not
one.
gonna just fuck.
I'm just thinking of like,
plastic.
but also if it's just like those old school inflatable ones.
No, it's
even
like
that's more hilarious.
I don't know if this is a picture of the actual doll, but I think it's like
I don't think so.
I think
that's
it's
an
like
ad.
I think it's like one of them sex robot dolls. Do you know about those that like talk
Yeah,
and
I'm
like walk
aware of
around
them.
and they're like,
And then I
"Hey,
said,
how was your day?"
No, the
How
Will
was
Smith
your
warned
day?
us about this. No, remember?
Yeah, and iRobot.
Yeah.
Well, Will Smith warned us about a lot of stuff.
Well, and he didn't tell us about a lot of stuff either.
Yeah.
Apparently, allegedly.
But wait, what is the whole deal with that? What's going on with Will Smith? I feel like it's in the news again.
It's in the news because Jada has a book coming out.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Ah, that's so annoying.
So
it's like
it's like
fake.
this,
like,
and she's like, "Oh, actually, I was in love with Tupac the whole time," and then
I
saw something that I didn't like go Google to see because it's like a meme. So the internet.
I heard
can
she
only
said
do.
that Tupac had alopecia.
Tupac had alopecia. Okay, but also,
Is that true? Do we know if that's true or not?
I don't know.
Could she just be like saying that?
Yeah, I don't know because I think she also has alopecia.
Yeah, it just seems like it's like, well, he clearly didn't want anybody to know if he did. So
I wrote a little post thing, just being very jokey. It's like, oh, actually, what did I say? Oh, I was like, secretly also in 1996, at the same time that Tupac died, Jada secretly died. And then while in the balance of life and death, they had a discussion that she will then take in Tupac's spirit and live on. And he's been in her. He's been in her this whole time. She's carried the spirit. Now an album's gonna drop pretty soon. And then it was just like, he's not dead.
I just want to, I just want to
know.
move past it. I don't care about Jada Pinkett or Will Smith anymore.
They're not I don't know these. I don't know them. And
they
I don't
also
need
just
to know
seem
people's-
weird. They seem weird to me. Like,
apparently
say what
have
you want
been-
about Chris Rock, but that guy doesn't seem that weird.
Oh.
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett seem strange.
Will it's like, I listened to some of the stuff he says. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good head smart
Of course.
stuff.
Yeah. Everybody
And then
says
it's
some
like, but
smart
I don't
stuff.
think your wife loves you. And I was like, hey man, I don't think this is. Hey, but if I was friends with Will Smith, I might be like, hey, I don't, because they've also been separated since I think it was like 2016 or something.
Yeah.
It's just another.
Yeah.
It's just like more stuff. I'm like, I don't. It's not like I don't care. I just
Well, they were like,
why do we need to know this information? How is it healing to? Because it was like
helping.
How. Yeah, because it was like something.
It seems to be hurting Will Smith quite a bit.
But also he's like, no, it's
Frankly.
fine. Well, it's just like, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
but it
I'm
isn't,
mature.
though.
I'm healthy.
It's
past
clearly
this way.
not. You slapped a man.
You slapped-
at
yeah.
the Oscars. I don't
You
know.
could have just yelled from your seat or just said nothing and just
Yeah.
let it go. It's a
Slapped him in the face, like.
a pop. But
I don't
also,
know.
I mean, why didn't Chris could have ducked?
Yeah, he could.
If he did, if
yeah,
Chris
it's
Rock
like-
did improv, he
that's
would have
like the
seen it
most-
coming.
That's the most like victim blaming thing
I
you
know.
could possibly do. It's like instead of saying like some people would be like he shouldn't have said the joke, but you're like no, he should have ducked. He should have just gotten out of
been
the
like,
way
"Oh,
of the slap.
Or just like high fived, which would just ruin it. She just grabbed his hand, hand in hand, and just be like, "Will, no."
Yeah, nobody let Hilari volunteer at their battered women's shelter. She's just like, why didn't you guys move out of the way?
No, but No, but it takes a while to be like,
No, for
I
real
think
though.
this
He
has
should have like
been-
seen that something was gonna
it's
happen.
like something's coming.
The guy
It's
is
not written.
standing
It's
up.
not.
Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes, you
Chris,
can be like,
you were at
could
rehearsal.
all be doing a joke thing and be like, what?
Yeah.
But it's like, no. And then
I
there's
think
people
that
who,
he
like, calmed it
probably
down.
that's probably what he thought was happening.
It was just like a bit
Because
that
if
he
I was
wasn't
Chris
aware
Rock
of.
in
Yeah,
that
and
situation,
that's my
I thought
friend.
like,
yeah.
oh, Will is like he's like about to joke around and like hit me or something.
Like, or do a Kanye thing or something.
Yeah. But then
no.
he didn't do that. He just
And then
slapped
everyone
him
had
in
to
the
be
face.
like, oh my God, Will Smith,
Everybody's
this
like,
one
whoa.
this one time this man was out of line.
Yeah.
But then I tried to be and was like, no.
I also, I like saw
So-
like somebody. It was an interview. I don't remember which rappers, but it was like some old school hip hop guys that were like obviously like around at the same time when Will Smith was like winning Grammys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he had given that speech at the Grammys where he was like, "I didn't need to curse to get a Grammy," and like all this stuff. And everybody was like, "Fuck you, man! Like, why do you have to shit on us? Like." Just
like, no,
because we want to
I'm
express
doing a good
ourselves
thing.
like differently, like it's like you don't like nobody was like making fun of him before that for like not cursing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he basically like took it upon himself to like talk down to like the rest of these
But you're like, no, I'm doing
like
a good thing,
like
though.
legends of hip hop. Like
yeah.
and it was just like interesting to hear them talk about it because I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
I don't
was
think
like
I remember hearing that.
yeah, he like in the speech
But-
and they played the clip and like it was such a short little thing that I
Yeah.
watched. It was on like TikTok or something.
Yeah.
That's where I get all my news.
Yeah.
I get all my news from TikTok. I'm like
sometimes that is because that's all I have the capacity for. I'm
just-
like, what's going on?
I only look at Instagram, but I get my news mostly from Reddit.
Yeah, I get mine from secondhand stories. That's why I
Yeah.
look at everyone's story and be like, "What am I supposed to be? I don't know what's going on. Where are we at? Who's in trouble?"
Yeah, there was this was actually something that I was reading about earlier. So in fucking frightening idea that honestly I can't imagine. This would have been awful. Oprah Winfrey pitched a White House run with Mitt Romney. In 2020, Mitt Romney and Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, for the White House, not like a 5K.
No, they were gonna they were gonna run for president
Oh,
and like
I
vice
think
president together.
in 2020. You said
Yeah, in 2020. It's crazy. It would have been awful.
Yeah, it's.
The last thing we need is Oprah Winfrey to be president. I think that it's like, yeah, she would probably be better. She would be better than Donald Trump.
She would at least get people to read books.
I don't think that that's true.
Yeah, because Oprah has her book thing.
Dude, the second that she would become president, they would be like, shut the fuck up, Oprah.
Yeah.
You dumb fuck. See, here's the problem with like these celebrities, because what they think is like, oh, I'll become president and like it'll make me like
you
more
have to
powerful.
Look at the job description.
Yeah, dude.
It's hard. It's not
the
but also
idea of fucking Oprah Winfrey being the person who's orbiting like
Everyone's
the
mad at all the
situation
time.
that's
Yeah.
happening with Israel and Palestine right now, or like dude, and like who's at her side? It's
Yeah.
Mitt Romney. No. That's terrible. It is like that is such an unattractive duo for president, in my opinion.
It's weird.
It's
wild.
so wild to me that I'm like, I actually think that Joe Biden would be a better option than both of them.
Yes.
It's insane. Like, I don't think that.
Didn't someone? I think the Rock. There was like a thing. Like
also terrible. Yes.
No, I think he could.
No.
I don't know.
I think it's so bad. It's like because it reminds me of this thing. Have you ever heard of like Nobel Prize syndrome? It's where people who like are really smart in one thing, like, and this is something that people have observed in a lot of Nobel Prize winners. That's why it's called that. Is, they'll be like a brilliant chemist, and so they'll win the Nobel Prize, and then they'll be like, well, I'm a brilliant chemist, like I'm probably smart about a bunch of other stuff.
Oh.
And then they'll like they over assess like their intelligence in a bunch of different areas. And that's not to say that The Rock is a stupid guy or that Oprah's a stupid lady, so to speak, but it's like because of this celebrity, because of these sort of like praise that has been heaped upon them, they have this overinflated sense of like stuff that they understand.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's like, dude, fucking The Rock, like this guy, that's what
Maybe
guy
like a
was the Tooth
senator.
Fairy. Yeah. I
Start
mean,
small first, like senator, like
exactly,
actual get
like
into
legislating at all, just
or,
like
or like city
anything
council,
with like law,
something.
Before
you gotta start crawling and
exactly. It's like you gotta fucking like you can't just go straight from movie star.
No, you gotta
to
start somewhere in the
president.
bottom, like in the middle.
We've
just
heard
know
it before.
What it's like,
you know, it's like Donald Trump literally went from like being on reality TV to being the president, and it went horribly.
And it was, we all knew
so bad,
but it's just like, no, that won't happen. And then it's like, actually,
I think
watch
in the future,
this.
I think in the future we're gonna see more celebrities run for president, and it really is like
Ronald Reagan though was.
Ronald Reagan was he was an actor, and he actually was, so a lot of people don't know this about Ronald Reagan.
Oh.
He was the head of the actors union during like McCarthyism and like the Red Scare and stuff, and he was the one who turned in a bunch of people for being communists, so to speak. So like he was an actor for sure, and like was a popular actor at one point, but he always was somewhat political. I mean, like you don't become the head of a union without being political.
Yeah.
And then he became governor of California and stuff like that. So he didn't have zero experience, but he was really similar to Donald Trump in the sense that like everybody around him was like, this guy is fucking crazy and he doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
Like this guy is insane.
Know.
You like if you read I mean anything about people who were close to Ronald Reagan, they're like, man, this guy fucking didn't know shit.
Yeah.
He fucking didn't know anything. Him and Donald Trump, they had to like make him picture books and shit to like show him stuff. Donald Trump, he wouldn't read anything.
No.
They'd
Why
be like,
would
"Can
he?
you make it into a Vine or whatever?"
Vine's been dead for so long. Yeah,
it's been gone for so long. That's how behind he is. He's like, "Guys, I found out about this new
MySpace.
Vine thing." He's like, "All right, if you tell me something I don't like, I'm gonna take you out of my top 5 friends." But I don't know. I can't imagine like.
I can't think of any
like celebrities that you would want to be president. I can't think of a single
Watson,
one.
But she can't be our president.
I can't think of a single one. I really don't. It like the idea of it makes my skin crawl so much. I'm like, please don't vote for these people.
Yeah, it's ones who are like doing what they should be doing, using their celebrity in a way to be like, hey, let's help people, but not just say it just to say it, but like also enact it.
It's just like this. Like to me, it feels like this clear like. These people already have so much like money and power, and then for them to be like, well, why don't I just be president? It's like, dude, that is clearly you are like fucking sniffing your own farts, and like you think you're like the sickest.
Small,
like you are an actor.
Yeah,
like,
help your
you're
community
an actor
first. Yeah,
it reminds me of if you've ever watched Succession.
No.
Connor, there's this character in Succession. He's like the oldest son, and the show is based off of Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News, and his family and stuff. It's like really loosely based off of them, but they're like this piece of shit conservative like billionaire like family. And the oldest son is kind of a dipshit. Like he's not involved in the family business or whatever. He's just like this goofy, like comedic relief side character. But one of his big arcs in the series is that he's running for president. And he's like he doesn't like end up getting like hardly any vote at all.
And this is a drama?
It's a drama,
series?
but it's also very funny. It's like, and it's really fucking like fucked up, but he's like running for president, and everybody is just like, you're such a fucking like this, you're such an idiot, dude. Like he's the dumbest fucking, everybody treats him like a stupid piece of shit like all the time. And that's what it reminds me of. That's what I think of when I think of like celebrities running, is I'm like, dude, these people are like just saying stuff that other people are telling them too. Because it's like they're probably not thinking of these policies or like whatever themselves.
No.
They become like the face of something.
Yeah. He was like, well, you gotta understand the thing.
Yeah. freaks me
I
out.
was like, how do you not know by now that we're gonna find out if you don't know?
Yeah, The Rock is like, I could be the president. I did a movie with Kevin Hart. Hey, you guys ever heard of Kevin Hart? Everybody's like, oh, hey, that's Kevin Hart's friend.
Yeah.
That's how I know The Rock.
That's The
Kevin
Rock,
Hart's
yeah.
big friend.
Kevin Hart's big bud, big bro. 'Cause they've done like what 3 movies things together.
At least.
Jumanji.
Yeah, and they've made like a bunch of YouTube videos.
I think the
or
first
whatever.
one was, what was it? The spy FBI? No. Do you remember?
Yeah, like maybe they're like cops or something.
He was like a cop or whatever, and then Kevin, I forget. Yeah.
It's like, it's so funny
Yeah.
that we have so many cop movies in this where they're like, hey,
Yeah.
I could be the president. I played a cop with
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
Man.
It's like, yes, the man who was the Tooth Fairy
Yeah.
is now.
There's some cop shows, like I enjoy dramas because it's like I'm figuring out the mystery along with the
Yeah.
people. But I forget which one it was, but there's one that was just like, you're shooting so many. Oh, no, I remember what it was.
24.
I was rewatching all of Walker, Texas Ranger.
I've never even watched it the first time. That's so funny. Yeah. Yep. A lot of people die in Walker, Texas
A
Ranger.
lot. And even
Well,
one
it's in
line was just like,
Texas.
hey, just shoot him.
Texas is like that now.
No,
They're
I
like, yeah.
know.
They're like,
But
oh,
it was pretty to
you're
me.
jaywalking? Blow!
Yeah, just right.
Texas
Oh my
is crazy.
gosh.
Fucking everybody there has a gun. Everybody here has a gun,
Everyone
too,
here
though,
has a
so
gun.
it's fair.
Pawn shops here sell guns.
Yeah.
There's-
It's sick. I think it's good. I think it's probably safe for
I-
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think
I
I've
want
been-
I want a gun store on every corner.
I mean, might as well. There's alcohol
Make
in every
America
corner.
safe. Let's put a gun store on every corner.
Yeah, that's instead of PE. Once in PE, you can't move on to your next class until you're able to perfectly shoot. Get
Yeah.
a perfect shooting score. or
Until you
whatever.
can hit center of mass.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, speaking of shooting people,
Cool.
This this guy murdered his wife.
Oh,
I don't know if he shot her
no.
or not, but he murdered his wife because she didn't want to go on Zombie Home Renovations, the reality show Zombie House Renovations. It's such a dumb reason to kill somebody.
What is the show?
So the show is just, they show off some renovation, like people who have renovated zombie houses or whatever, which are usually just houses that run down, that kind of thing, and people turn them into nice homes or whatever. That's my understanding of it. But this guy had spent thousands of dollars on renovations and had hopes of appearing on the reality television show Zombie House Renovations. This led to the couple experiencing problems in their marriage, prosecutors said. The wife's refusal to appear on the show upset the husband to the point that it led to her murder. It's like so insane. I mean, I'm not laughing because
No.
I actually think it's funny. I'm
No.
laughing because it's like,
That's outrageous.
that's wild. That's such a wild reason to kill somebody. Your wife, especially.
Yeah.
Jesus
Or
Christ, buddy. Anyone, but especially your
because
wife.
you couldn't get on a show.
Yeah, because she wouldn't go on it.
'Cause
It's
she
like,
wouldn't
dude,
go-
he could still go on
You
it.
can still,
Maybe.
yeah, you can still do it, and then just blur out her face, or
Maybe
just don't. She
maybe
can
they were like,
vacation
dude,
or
you
whatever.
gotta get your wife on there, or you can't come on.
Yeah.
Your wife's got to be on
Probably.
board. That's so crazy, though. They noticed inaccuracies in the husband's story. He claimed he found his wife in the bathtub after having spent the day cleaning and walking his dogs. However, the medical examiner testified that facial injuries, blood evidence, and bruises on the victim's eyes told a different story. It's like, well, yeah. Of course.
How-
He's like, oh, she was in the bathtub, and then,
People's.
I don't know, maybe a ghost just beat her to death. It's like, what, dude?
That's why I'm.
Come on.
I'm watching. It's The Irrationalist. It's on Peacock.
Oh, I've seen
He's talking
commercials
about
for that where the guy's like,
Irrationalities and
the
that
guy's
people
like,
do.
actually, you don't want to think about it rationally because they're not
Yeah.
acting rationally.
Yeah, and it's like what? But it was like a cool thing of like you knowing so much psychology to be able to like just completely discombobulate someone.
Yeah.
to just like instead of like a different way of de-escalation. It's like,
Yeah.
actually this could make sense. I like the profile, like Criminal Minds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll
Have you ever
watch
watched
that.
The Wire?
I've not yet.
The Wire's
So
dope.
I started to watch The Wire.
It's a
and
cop
then
show, but it's like
guy,
not really a cop
No.
show.
But the guy who plays the sergeant died. Like after I started watching it, I was like, no, I killed him.
No, that really bummed me out.
Yeah.
It's
I was
such a
like,
good
well, I
show
want to.
though. I mean,
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan is in it, like
Yeah.
incredible.
Mhm.
Michael K. Williams, also
Mhm.
incredible. R.I.P.
It's
Michael K.
good.
Williams.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
That show is really good though, and it's like the thing that I like about The Wire is because it is very much like a cop show, kind
Yeah.
of in the sense where you're like, these are cops,
Yeah.
and they're investigating crime.
In New York. No.
It's in
Yes,
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
It's in Baltimore, and they basically though, like, because they show you everything, like
Mhm.
they don't just show you the cop's point of view,
Mm-hmm.
and so then you begin, because of the way that they do it, like not only do you begin to view the Baltimore Police Department in a different light, like pretty immediately, but like also like the individual like cops are like struggling with like the same shit kind
Yeah.
of. And so I don't know, it's just
Yeah,
like
it's
really
like
it's a really good
humanizing.
show. It's like actually I think it's like it's not really humanizing so much as
Mhm.
it is like illustrating like how cops victimize people. Like,
Yeah.
they do a lot of that.
Yeah.
But also about how like the criminal justice system as a whole, like beyond just police,
Yeah.
is like very abusive to people. And,
Yeah.
like not good.
No.
So it's just such a good show though. Like I really, really love it. And they have like like people from Baltimore in the show that are like not even actors. They just
Yeah.
like can do the accent because it's the worst accent in the country. Have you ever heard the Baltimore? It's like
really.
a
It's-
mix between like northeastern and southern, where they're like do like do. It's really dumb. It's a stupid accent.
Like
They're like-
New York, but Southern, like a Southern New Yorker.
It's like it almost sounds like Cajun. It's weird because it's like,
Oh.
yeah, a mix of like New York and southern accent where they're like, hello.
British.
I'm serious. Hello.
Like,
Oh. But they
you-
have like one of
yeah.
the most beloved characters. Her name is Snoop, and she plays like a gang member in the show. And she was just like a lady that the like one of the casting directors like saw, and he was like, "Oh my god." He was like, "You're perfect." And she has like some of the most incredible scenes in the show. There's one where she's going in to buy a like CO2 powered
Mhm.
like high powered nail gun
yeah.
at this department store. It's like the opening scene of the show, and she's just going in there to buy it, and it's like this salesman at this hardware store, and he's like, "Okay, I'll take it up to the register and we'll ring you up. It's like this much." And she just hands him like a wad of cash and is like, "Keep the rest," and then just takes it like in her hands and walks out.
Mhm.
It's such a good scene, and she's like an incredible like actor for
Mhm.
being somebody who literally they just found on the street.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people like that in that show. It's cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's sick. I love The
Nice.
Wire. Cop
Yeah.
show. Cop show,
Good
but not a
cop
cop
show.
show.
Not a cop show, but is a cop show.
Yeah, but this guy, he shot his wife.
Yeah.
That guy
For
shot his
zombie. Was it
And-
zombie home makeover?
wife. Zombie house
House.
renovations. Zombie house renovations. I think the one thing that like all of these people have in common, men who shoot their wives, cops, they all
Yeah.
have small penises. It's my guess.
Something is.
I
Yeah.
think that's probably the case.
Yeah.
And I've become a bit of an expert
On small
Small
penises.
because for the last like few days, I found out about this subreddit called Small Dick Problems. And it is incredible.
Yeah.
I've been reading nonstop. They're so funny. The posts are so funny. It's like titles like, "I don't care what anybody says, my 4-inch dick is fire." And it's like, yeah, dude, maybe. Like I don't
Yeah.
like that's not even like that small. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it is small, but like it's not like you couldn't do nothing with that, you know? Like, it's nothing to write home about, but come on, take it easy on yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
But then some of them are like this. This is like one of the top posts on there, and it's just titled 70 Years with the Micro Penis. My story.
An autobiography. There's gotta be an actual autobiography out there.
Yeah, and it just says, brothers. I am familiar with the pain that many of you currently feel. Life has given you a terrible hand of cards to play with, and all I can do is offer my condolences and pass on what I have learned. It's the camaraderie. I love the camaraderie of having a small dick. It's like, you know, and I feel bad, like, laughing kind of, because some of the stuff in here is, like, really sad. Like, obviously these people are, like, it is an example of the way that, like, body shaming and stuff like that, and not, like, being body positive is, like, damaging to men. You know what I mean? Which is sad, because a lot of men, I think, if you ask them about body positivity and stuff, they would be like, no, it's like, who gives a fuck? Like, fat people are fat. And it's like, well, dude, what about your tiny penis, you little baby?
Yeah. I hate that, like, on the radio, it's like has all of the, like, not extends, but like those, like,
the dick pill commercials.
Commercials. And it's like, you know what ladies like? I was like, stop it.
Yeah.
It's gross. Like, when I worked at where was it, Cargo Largo, at their, like, warehouse, we could only listen to the radio. Like, we couldn't have headphones in for safety.
You guys could only sell small big dick pills.
Yes, that was it. That's actually that's 50% of the lost shipment that came through was just small
just
dick pills.
Blue Chew.
Yeah, like, I couldn't listen to, like, certain radio stations because I was like, I'm getting mad for people to be like, stop. It's gross.
Well, it is. It's like pumped into you, like, at a young age, that, like, your penis is supposed to be giant.
Yeah. So I listened to, like,
and
stations that didn't have that many commercials.
It is really funny though, because women will go on here, and they'll be like, "Hey, I just wanted to say that, like, having a small penis isn't that big of a deal," and, like, da 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 da, and, like, you know that, like, none of these guys are responding to it very well.
No.
Sometimes they're like, there are people who are like, "Hey, like, thanks for writing this, like, but please stop."
Yeah.
Like, please please stop saying that it's okay to have a small penis. Like, saying it that way also is like,
it's just like,
it's
hey,
like kind
bud.
of acknowledging that it's like that you think it's like fucked up to have a small dick. And so they all get so upset. Like, they're like so mad, and it's like, dude, I honestly, like, part of me thinks that this subreddit existing is, like, worse than just these people being out there with small penises on their own. Because I do think it provides some of them some support, but also I've, like, read enough of it to realize, I'm like, dude, this shit is depressing as fuck. Like, and there would be people on here like, I'm sick of people with regular sized penises saying that their dicks are small. Like, get out of here.
Like, oh man, like, you don't even know. You don't know pain. You don't. Oh man, what a weird. Yeah, that's just another place where, like, not necessarily one upping each other, but, like, my pain's worse than yours. It's like, it's all.
It just is, like, such an interesting. It's so interesting to me that it exists. And it's so interesting to me that I you know, I've looked at enough of this that I can tell that there's almost, like, hardly any crossover between, like, the people on this subreddit and the people who believe in, like, body positivity kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but dude, that's what you're wanting.
Yeah.
Like, it's what you're asking for, you little dicks. Fucking dorks. But yeah, 70 years with a micro penis. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
But he had he said that he had a nice psychedelic experience that made it all okay for him.
Good.
But yep. So, you know, if you're out there, if you know anyone out there that has a small dick, do something nice for him.
You're proud of him.
Do something nice for him.
Something nice.
Do not tell him that you think it's big. They hate that. They talk about how much they hate that. There's like dudes who are like, my girlfriend said my dick was big and now I can't look at her. She lied to me. She lied to me about my dick being big.
So that's what you wanted to hear.
Yeah. Sorry, bud.
Sorry, bud.
Well, Hilary, we've made it to the end of the pod.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
So now
right.
you can go ahead and plug. Tell people where they can follow you, what they can do.
They can follow me on Instagram at hilarious124. Also on the Hill and I. What else do I have coming up? I don't have too much stuff because have more sewing stuff. So Hill Does Crafts is who you can follow. That's my sewing journey.
Hell yeah.
My healing sewing journey.
Hillary's
sewing
healing.
really is therapy.
Yeah, and look, again, there's a teacher at a local community college.
She's not
here
there
in
anymore. The
Kansas
program
City.
doesn't exist anymore.
Maybe she's not there.
She's not. The program tanked because of her.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hill Does
yeah,
Crafts,
Hill Does
Hilarious
Crafts,
124.
The Hill
The
and
Hill
I,
and I.
1 L. This'll, yeah, we've made a post before. And we'll
Tuesday.
probably announce it because this will come out
Tuesday.
Yeah. So, myself and some folks have been working together to create Black Comedy Fest, Kansas City.
Hell yeah, nice.
So it'll be
Fuck
improv,
yeah.
sketch, and stand up.
That's sick.
And we're gonna be in April, last weekend of April. But you can go to BCF Kansas City on Instagram. And we're trying to just post and like stuff because we've been working lightly since like May, and
That's
finally
awesome.
at a point where we're like this, and we were working with Theater Community Fund, so I have nonprofit, so it'll also be a fundraiser for
That's
them,
awesome.
and they help focus on uplifting voices of BIPOC artists and things like that. But they're also taking care of the whole theater community and providing emergency grants, and have helped people like escape evictions and stuff in a food pantry. And also, it'll be in 18th and Vine.
Nice. Hell yeah. That's sick.
Yeah, because I just went up there and like
I didn't
kind
know
of
you were working on that.
Yeah. So
That's
I've been like
sweet.
kind of just like we got enough.
You're announcing it this
Yeah.
upcoming
So
week?
it should be. We already have the Instagram is up, and it's just kind of loosely. We're still working on like the website and stuff because that stuff takes time.
Hell yeah.
And life and stuff. So
Yeah.
That's why we started so soon, because I know how life works and things, and we want it to be.
They got it.
It's gonna be great, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But so I went down and was able to go, just reach out and mention kind of the idea of what we're doing, and just like it'll be stuff. So we'll start fundraising soon and have it on the Vine, like at the gym, and then over somewhere in like the Black Archives. And stuff like that. So
oh yeah.
yeah,
Well,
so
check
hopefully-
all that
so
stuff
that'll
out.
be things, but it's most likely it's for sure it'll be down on the Vine, because that's where I wanted
sweet.
it specifically
That'll be
to
cool.
be. Yeah. So BCF Kansas City on Instagram. There's more stuff coming soon. So
Yeah.
we're excited. So yeah.
Follow Hilary at all those places,
Mhm.
and check out the Black Comedy Festival of Kansas City. That sounds so cool. I
Yeah.
didn't know that you were working on that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It'll be fun.
And then continue listening to this White Guys podcast.
Yeah.
jakin.off.podcast on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
And send anything at all to jakin.off.podcast
Yeah.
at gmail.com. I'll look at it.
Yeah. Do we
If
share
you
Venmos?
send it, I'll
Do we
look
do
at it.
that?
No.
No.
This is a this
It's
is
a
a
thing.
not-for-profit
Oh,
podcast.
right.
So we
That's
want
right.
to we remain editorially independent,
Got
so
you.
we don't accept money.
Gotcha.
But with that said, guys, I love
yeah.
you. I love you so much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.